Welcome everyone. Today's video will be a little longer and we'll talk about daily life during the height of the Egyptian Empire. I broke it down into a few parts. I hope you can enjoy it. 1. Introduction to the New Kingdom. Egypt was one of the most powerful and influential civilizations of the ancient world, and its inhabitants enjoyed a high standard of living. This was especially true during the New Kingdom period, from 1550 to 1069 BC, when Egypt was ruled by a succession of powerful pharaohs. Ramses II is considered to be the most powerful pharaoh of the period, ruling for over 60 years and constructing dozens of monuments, temples, and cities. He is also credited with establishing diplomatic relations with other countries, such as the Hittites, and leading military campaigns against the neighboring states of Syria and Nubia. The daily life of Egyptians during this era revolved around their work, which often included farming, fishing, or other manual labor. They also engaged in a variety of crafts such as pottery making, carpentry, and jewelry making. Trade and commerce were also important, as Egypt was a major hub of the ancient world. The economy was shaped by the centralized government of the pharaohs, who used taxation and other methods to maintain control over a vast and expanding empire. The pharaohs used their wealth to build great monuments, such as the Temple of Luxor, and to sustain the military, which was essential in maintaining the country's position as a major power in the ancient world. Agriculture was the foundation of the New Kingdom economy. The fertile lands along the Nile produced abundant crops and was the primary source of food for the population. The state was highly organized and managed the irrigation systems that allowed water to be distributed to the fields. A system of taxation was also in place, which ensured that the state received a steady stream of income from the agricultural sector. 2. The Egyptian diet. Egyptians enjoyed a variety of dietary staples. Archaeological evidence, as well as written records, provide insights into their diets during the New Kingdom era. The Egyptian diet was based largely on cereal grains, which were used to make bread and beer. Wheat and barley were the main grains used, although other grains, such as millet and sorghum, were also consumed. These grains were supplemented with legumes such as lentils, chickpeas, and fava beans. Vegetables such as onions, garlic, and leeks were also a part of the diet. Fruits, including figs, dates, and grapes, were also eaten. Meat was a luxury for the wealthy, and most of the population likely ate very little of it. The main sources of meat were poultry, such as ducks and geese, and game animals, such as gazelles, ibex, and antelopes. Fish, such as catfish and tilapia, was also eaten. The Egyptians also consumed dairy products, including milk, cheese, and yogurt. Honey was used as a sweetener, and spices, such as cumin, coriander, and cinnamon, were used to add flavor to dishes. 3. The economy. The New Kingdom economy relied heavily on trade. Goods such as papyrus, linen, ivory, gold, and spices were exported from Egypt and traded with other countries in Africa and the Near East. In addition, the Egyptians had a thriving trade in slaves, which was a major source of income for the state. The New Kingdom economy was also bolstered by the development of a complex bureaucracy and the introduction of currency. The use of money allowed for increased commercial activity and the growth of a merchant class. This led to the development of a more sophisticated banking system, which allowed the state to manage its income and expenditure more effectively. 4. The social classes. The New Kingdom era saw great advances in the social hierarchy. During this period, the Egyptians developed a social system that was divided into 3 distinct classes: the pharaoh and the nobility, the middle, and the lower. This social system would have a lasting impact on Egyptian society, and the culture of the New Kingdom period was heavily influenced by these different classes. The pharaoh and the nobility or upper class were the most powerful and influential members of society. They were in charge of the government and the military, and they held the highest positions in the court and religious hierarchy. The pharaoh and the nobility held immense wealth and power, and were the only members of society who could own land. They were also the only members of society who were allowed to participate in religious rituals. The middle class was the largest social class in the period. This class was made up of engineers, artisans, merchants, and other skilled professionals. Members of the middle class were typically employed by the pharaoh and the nobility and were responsible for creating and maintaining the infrastructure of ancient Egypt, such as the irrigation systems and road networks. The lower class, made up of peasants and slaves, were responsible for the daily operations of ancient Egypt. They worked in the fields and were responsible for harvesting the crops. They also mined and collected the raw materials used in construction and crafts. The life of a peasant or slave in the New Kingdom period was difficult and often dangerous. 5. Religion. Religion was an important part of life for all Egyptians, regardless of social class. The ancient Egyptians believed in a pantheon of gods and goddesses who governed the natural world and could influence human affairs. They also believed in an afterlife and believed that by honoring their gods and goddesses, they could ensure a peaceful and prosperous life. 6. Education. The education system was highly structured and had a significant impact on culture and society. It was divided into two main areas of study: the formal education of the elite and the informal education of the general population. Formal education. Formal education during the New Kingdom period was mainly reserved for the elite classes. The main focus was to teach the skills and knowledge necessary to serve as a court official or scribe. This included reading, writing, arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, and law. The most important educational institution during the New Kingdom period was the House of Life. The House of Life was an important center of learning where students could learn from the priests and scholars. Students were also taught how to read and write hieroglyphics and other forms of writing. In addition, students could also study at the tombs of the pharaohs, where they could learn about the history and culture of the period. The study of religion was also part of their education system, and students were taught about the gods and goddesses of Egypt. Informal education. Informal education was mainly provided through the family. Parents taught their children basic skills such as reading, writing, and arithmetic. They also taught their children about their culture and religion. In addition, there were also informal schools where students could learn more advanced skills such as mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. These schools were often run by private individuals or families. 7. Leisure. In terms of leisure activities, they enjoyed music, art, games, and sports. Music was particularly popular and was enjoyed by all classes of society. The Egyptians also enjoyed a variety of board games, such as Senet and the Royal Game of Ur. Sports were also popular and included wrestling, archery, and javelin throwing. 8. Medicine. During this period, the Egyptians developed advanced medical treatments, including the use of herbs, oils, and poultices to treat illnesses and injuries. They also had a great understanding of hygiene and sanitation. The majority of medical treatments during the New Kingdom period involved the use of herbs and oils. These treatments were often used to treat a variety of ailments, including skin infections, wounds, and even mental disorders. The Egyptians knew of the importance of cleanliness. This is evidenced by the practice of bathing regularly and the use of perfumes to mask body odor. As for hygiene in general, there was an understanding of the importance of keeping their environment clean. We see this through the numerous hygienic practices that were in place during this time, including the use of disinfectants and hand washing. There was a certain knowledge about nutrition. During this period, they ate a variety of foods, including grains, fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. They also understood the importance of eating a balanced diet. Egyptians emphasized the need for good mental health. We see this through the number of temples dedicated to mental health and wellness, as well as the use of psychotherapy and counseling. In addition, they knew of the importance for physical fitness, and this is shown by the number of sporting events and physical activities that were popular during this period. Preventative medicine was practiced through the custom of regular checkups. 9. All good things must come to an end. The New Kingdom period ended in 1069 BC with the death of Ramses XI. This marked the end of the 18th dynasty and ushered in a period of political instability, which eventually led to the collapse of the New Kingdom. In conclusion, the life of the average Egyptian at the height of their empire was complex and varied. They were able to enjoy a high standard of living and had access to education and medical treatment. Religion and leisure activities were also important parts of daily life. I hope you enjoyed this video about daily life at the height of the ancient Egyptian empire. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate you all and all your support in helping us grow.